From the center of the universe, Toronto, Ontario, Canada, this is the SDM Show with your host, Rob Cairns. The SDM Show focuses on business, life, productivity, digital marketing, WordPress, and more. Sit back, relax, grab your favorite drink, and enjoy the show. Here is Rob.
Hey everybody, Rob Cairns here. I'm the founder, CEO, and Chief Digital Strategist at Stunning Digital Marketing. In today's show, I have Bridget Willard with me, and Bridget and I are going to talk in our monthly marketing segment about why you need to publish on LinkedIn. Grab a drink, sit back, relax, enjoy this. The SDM Show is brought to you by Stunning Digital Marketing, the digital marketing concierge that helps you put all your marketing pieces together. We are your marketing experts. We are also your WordPress security experts and know how to lock down a website and protect yourself from bad actors. So contact us at Stunning Digital Marketing today. Hey everybody, Rob Cairns here. Today I'm here with my good friend, Miss Bridget Willard. There I go already. Hey Bridget, how are you?
How's it going, Rob?
Oh, it's going. I'll screw the evergreen up, but at the time of the record, it's election day in Canada. So much fun, you know.
Yeah, that's a whole thing.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
whole
do
thing.
that and between the election and just take my Amazon account away from me and I'll be better off. You know how that goes, eh? Yeah. It's gonna be
Yeah,
one of
yeah,
those shows, is it?
for sure.
Anyway,
We're going to
today
talk
we
about
were
publishing on LinkedIn.
Yeah, and I have to thank you graciously. We pre-recorded this like last week, and somebody, me, had all kinds of technical problems, which I never have usually. It's the second one I've had with you, actually. Well, years ago, we had one where I lost power in the middle of it, if you remember, with you and
Oh my,
Warren.
oh
So
my
it's happened
gosh.
before. So,
I
and you haven't
mean,
killed me yet. Uh,
whatever, just practice putting on my makeup. Gives me a good reason
yes,
to fix my hair and whatnot.
make yourself look pretty. Yeah, I hear you. So let's talk about why to publish on LinkedIn. We're both on LinkedIn.
Yes.
Um, I shared with you last week. I just redid my profile and let's get rid of noises. Sorry. I redid my profile with a little bit of AI help. I have to admit, Gemini, it was a big help. I added, I don't know, a pile of other podcasting appearances beside my own and some blog post appearances and some articles and stuff like that. I thought it was important. I just recently took out LinkedIn Premium, believe it or not. Now I've done all that. Why should I even bother? Why should I care?
Okay, so if you're in B2B, you have to be on LinkedIn. Just accept it.
Yep.
There's a lot of people who say, and sad to me, super sad, bad move, mistake, to get off of Twitter X because you don't like the founder. I don't like Microsoft. I'm still on LinkedIn. Why? Because my customers are B2B companies who work in SaaS. And that's
Mhm.
and that's usually their customer too, especially with a tech stack. Tech SaaS companies are usually companies who are also working with other businesses. This is where they
Yep.
are. And and I would, we could have a whole episode on LinkedIn, like, only going to it when you need a job or and things like this. But I just want to distinguish from posting on LinkedIn to publishing on LinkedIn. Now, I've been a big fan of this for a long time. I haven't done it as often as I should, um, but I think that a good cadence for doing it is like one of your blog posts a month, repurposing it on LinkedIn as an article, and only people can do this, not companies. So
Mhm.
it's really important that if it's not you, then your marketing person has access to your profile
For
so that they
profile.
can publish
Yep.
this. Yeah. And, and use a header 1200 by 644 and all these. regular best practices. I always put a link originally published on this date on bridgetwillard.com that links to the actual mother post, as it were.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of reasons. Just quickly, for visibility, thought leadership, brand authority, and off-page SEO. I'm gonna go a little backwards on this. Off-page SEO is like a no-brainer for me. If you look up Bridget Willard SaaS, I just did this, you're gonna see, I logged in, I saw first my website and then my LinkedIn profile. And then
Mhm.
the next thing I saw was an article I wrote for Better Cloud about managing SaaS. And then,
Now, let me stop you for a sec. Sorry. Because the reason LinkedIn's ranking so high is LinkedIn has a high brand authority on their domain name. Let's be honest, and that's
yes,
that's
and
part of the reason.
this is the off-page SEO. So as long as
Yeah.
you're linking it to your, off-page SEO is everything that's not on your website. Every time
Mhm.
you go to an event, every time anybody's looking for you, pictures in the newspaper, doing interviews for other companies, being on podcasts like this. This is all off-page
Yep.
SEO, and
Yep.
and people get all weird about it, and they think it's like, oh, whatever. It really is just business development exercises. Okay, it's really not.
100%. Boom.
Branding is SEO. End of story. I'm gonna die on that hill. Warren's been doing it lately, and he has also found that in his A/B tests of publishing on his blog and also on LinkedIn, the same exact article, not truncated, not a summary, just the same exact article. His blog post is nowhere to be found. The LinkedIn article is indexed in 24 hours. And I think it was on spot 5 for one of them I checked. I just wrote about this on my blog post and then put it on LinkedIn. So if you want more of what we're talking about, you can always go to my post.
And we will link to Bridget's blog post in the show notes. I do have it hot off the presses, as
Yes.
always. So
I'm
we
I'm
will.
like on fire today about this stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, like, so like, and with off-page SEO is visibility, right? So when you're
Mhm.
on LinkedIn and you're doing Bridget's 321 method and not smoking baby back ribs, but commenting on 3 things a
Yep.
day, following 3 people, commenting on 2 things, and writing something original every day, then you're going to have that visibility. The algorithm, you're going to train the algorithm on how you should be. It's going to ask you, it's going to start serving you the things that you're looking for. When you start following other people and commenting on their things, you're going to be seen. I mean, yesterday I did a whole like following thing on targeting my perfect clients.
Yep.
Just follow, 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 like their post, write something on it. This is just business development. It's really not that hard. You can do this in 5 minutes a day. I promise you. If you don't make the time, if you're somebody who needs routine, then book it in your calendar.
Thank you
Book it
very
in your
much.
calendar.
That's the key. And by the way, if anybody thinks that Bridget and I just preach this stuff some days, I will tell you in my calendar every day from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern, there's an hour blocked that says business development in my calendar. And I'm a big believer that every small business, whether you're an agency, you run a store, or you do something else, for any of your tasks like this, you should book them right in your calendar so you actually have the time. So that's the key. Make the time.
Especially if you allow people to book events. And I made a mistake. Tomorrow is my best friend's birthday. We're all going to Dave and Buster's. And I made the mistake of not scheduling that as busy. I just changed it on Google Calendar. So every single time it's going to be busy. And somebody booked with me, and I was like, ah, it's a family birthday.
Yeah.
You
Done
know,
that, been there. Yeah.
because I was a secretary for so many years, this is just in me. I'm a very
Mhm.
routine oriented person. This is what I do in the morning. I'm drinking my Earl Grey tea. I used to drink coffee when I had a gallbladder. Now I drink my Earl Grey tea and I go Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram's last because those are my friends. And
Yep.
reels and funny stuff. I save all my reels for bedtime to laugh, or when I really just want to laugh at stuff. So it's Twitter, LinkedIn, email. That's it. Facebook and Instagram, those are my friends. I don't care about them. For
Hmm.
business to business, I spend my time on X, Twitter, and LinkedIn, whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
So that,
Now,
when you build that routine in, you're having that visibility, right? So the
mhm.
off-page SEO is really important because those articles do show up. Even your posts show up.
Yeah,
You're a big fan of Google Alerts, right, Rob?
I am. Use it every day.
Huge, huge fan. Bridget Willard, as it happens, all results. And I know when something's indexed because I get the email, right? And I know when someone mentions me too, but I love that. I don't have to be in my Google Analytics app all the time, wondering if anything's happening. I can know if something's happening.
Mhm.
There's a lot of Bridget Willards, but there's not a lot of Bridget Willards in marketing. So I'm not usually getting false results. It's not like my
Yep.
name is John Smith.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
but that visibility, so when you're publishing, now different people might be seeing it and you're following them, they might follow you. And, you just said that you gave up your premium. To me, premium's kind of spendy, but if you're like a SaaS founder, CEO or something, that's a good way to spend your money.
I didn't
Because
say I gave it up. I said I just bought it. I just took it out, actually.
oh, you took it up. I thought you said you
Yeah, I
gave it
did.
up.
No, I took it out. And one of the reasons I took it out is when I'm doing searches for people, I get more info on the premium. So
Right,
that's why I did.
right, right. And I was going to say, if that's your thing, then you should spend the money on it. I'm on there all the time. So I know when someone viewed my profile, it'll tell
Yes.
me like
So do I.
so and so and so and so just viewed your profile. I know because I just viewed theirs and they got the notification too. Or I just
Mhm.
commented on their thing and it's like, oh, look, they're looking. You know, that's something you don't really get with Twitter. That's something that's really important on Twitter is like those
Mhm.
profile views because they're more likely to go to your website. However, we're talking about publishing, right? So now, publishing versus posting. There is a really great CEO who posts every single day, great insights about his SaaS company and the learnings from that, not just for other tech bros or other SaaS founders. It's for customers and investors. It's really important. I do link in my article, you can find that out, but like I want I want him to publish those as articles on LinkedIn
Yep.
because they're long posts
Yeah.
and they'll get more visibility as articles. So, that's for if that person was asking me, that's what I would recommend. And because it's a huge, huge piece. Now, the third and fourth reasons, brand authority and thought leadership, this is like closely tied. So you're piggybacking on the brand authority, like we talked about, of LinkedIn, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
But then it depends on what you post. So, like to build up your new brand, whether you're in the SaaS space or WordPress plugin or even a small business, if
Yep.
you have a new business or a new thing, nobody knows about it. They don't know about it because it never existed before. So when you're posting and writing about this stuff and publishing on LinkedIn, really poignant articles with data, you're going to be impressing many people. So there's this study that was done in 2024 by Elderman, and they found that executives trust the thought leadership to the point that 75% of them say an organization's, I'm quoting, say an organization's thought leadership content is a more trustworthy basis for assessing its capabilities and competencies than its own marketing materials or product sheets. And this is why I'm always saying, like, however you can download the founder or CEO's brain, if he or she or they are publishing on LinkedIn and it's coming from them and they're giving statistics about their platform and their product and their business and their industry, that should all translate over to your website, your email marketing, and your sales pitch decks. Because
True.
then you're downloading that founder's brain. Whereas the marketing team and the sales team, we talk about this all the time. It's like a Hemi engine and a Dodge.
It is.
They're
No
just fighting
question.
each other. They're just fighting
No
each other.
question.
But
No
like
question.
when you're seeing the founder write like this is huge. This is
Mm-hmm.
huge. They also found that 90% of decision makers and C-suite, 90%, Rob, 9 out of 10, are more receptive to companies' sales and marketing efforts. So cold calls, and those kinds of
Yeah.
things when they
Yeah.
see consistent thought leadership published.
That is true.
90%. 90%. Like this is hard data. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
why wouldn't you take the time, and if it's to the point where this one person I was mentioning, he's just going blah, 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 and then somebody takes that from the marketing team and then expands on it in the article and
Yep.
publishes it under his name or her name or their name, then do it.
Yep.
This is
Yeah.
huge, monk. This is a huge deal. Um, it's like this other stat, it said more than 75% of decision makers and C-suite executives say that one piece of thought leadership has led them to research a product or service they weren't even looking for. That
Mm.
to research a product or service they were not previously considering. Like this is a big deal. This is, that not only did you invent something or develop a service or whatever, the Uber of this, whatever, but when you're talking about it constantly on LinkedIn and publishing these articles and being an engaging human, then you're really persuading a lot of folks, investors, early adopters, innovators, maybe even the early majority, because
Mhm.
you're still in that accessible phase as a CEO and
Yeah.
founder, right? You're not at the top, in a boardroom somewhere. Nobody can ever have a conversation with you. This is a
One
big
of the
deal.
guy you mentioned that about people who post. I was thinking, and there's a marketer out there, well-known marketer by the name of David Gearhart. You probably know him. He's been around a long time. He was at Privy, and before that, he was somewhere else, and now he runs his own show. And he posts, and he runs his own company. He probably posts once a day failure,
Yeah.
without failure. And that's
Yeah.
part of his strategy. Now, we talked about publishing on LinkedIn versus posting. What kind of content should I be posting? Should it be a blog post? Should it be a video? Should it be a live stream? What should it be?
So I was specifically speaking of the publishing, which is an
Yes, you are.
article, an
Yes.
article. So like just keep it that way. Now, this study by Elderman from 2024, which is linked, and you can get the link to it. Even if you're like, I don't want to go to your blog post, just holler at
Mhm.
me on Twitter. I'll send it to you. But it talks about thought leadership as being video, podcasts, white
Yep.
papers, keynote speakers, that all of
Mhm.
it, all of it. But I'm like, my main thing on this subject is publish, publish, publish. Even if it's just 1 out of 4 of your articles,
Mhm.
post on LinkedIn every day, publish at least once a month. That's a good like first, measure. You like just see how it goes, and then try it for a whole quarter and see what happens. I'm
Yeah.
sure it's going to really help.
Yeah. And I think a lot of companies, the problem with LinkedIn, and I think what scares LinkedIn is there's bad marketers on LinkedIn. We all know that. And it's so frustrating when some guy sends me a connection request and I accept the connection request despite my better judgment, right? We've all done this. And then what is the first thing I get within minutes of pushing that accept?
A
Here's a
DM.
list of here's a DM, a private message saying, here's what I sell. And and that's what gives LinkedIn a bad rep. But it happens on Facebook, it happens on X/Twitter, it happens on Blue Sky, it happens everywhere. The bottom line is, I'm going to say this nicely as I can. Do not be a douchebag marketer. Do not turn around after you've connected with me and try and sell me. Take the time and publish. Take the time and build the real relationship. And then maybe let's have a conversation about what you offer after you build that relationship. When will these douchebags, and this is my show, so I can say whatever I want, because I'm on a roll with this today, realize that, as Bridget laughs at me, realize that the relationship is more important and will go to better sales than just slamming me old school way.
It's basically a scraper automation, people on 5RR, people outsourcing to companies in India for pennies on the dollar to buy volume, do cold emails. And sometimes I run it back and I said, no, I'm not interested at this time. I'll just, keep going. But like, I know it's not real spam, but it's spam-ish. Like to me,
Yes.
real spam is harmful link
Yep.
bait that goes to malware and stuff like this. But
Yep.
yeah, it's
Yep.
very inappropriate.
Yep.
It's a good way to turn people off. And I think that not only are people just trying to pour, some low effort energy into like maybe they'll get one lead. And there's people who still believe in cold calls, and mortgage brokers live off this stuff. It's fine. I mean, salesmen need leads. I get it, but that's not the same as business development. That's just
Yep.
volume intrusion and a really poor use of it. Like
But
sometimes,
it must be working or they wouldn't be doing it in the first place. It just doesn't work with
well, what
savvy
work?
marketers like you and I.
Well, you have to define what works. So if
Yeah.
somebody's spending what $200 on somebody to DM 100,000 people, the right people, and scrape their information off the internet, or use AI to scrape their information on the internet, either way, and just go copy paste, copy paste, copy paste, and they get a customer that's going to spend $3,000, well, then they won. So they're not caring about their brand reputation, right? So this is the mistake. Now, sometimes what I'll do if I have a client that I think would be good together, or somebody that I think would be a good guest on the podcast or something, is I'll go, hey, I work with this so person, and you guys probably have a lot in common, and I think you should know each other. That's what I do.
So
I'm
the
a
ones I
people broker. Like I'll match people up like a matchmaker, but I'm not going to get in their DMs and be like, da 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 da. I might ask them to send me a recommendation, but that's different. That's somebody I've actually had as a client.
Yeah. So the ones that I don't mind are the PR people that reach out to me and on LinkedIn on DM. I get them an email too, by the way, running a big podcast that's done well. And they'll say, I've listened to this episode. I pulled these three things out and I know somebody that I can live with because at least they've done their homework and they're trying to build the relationship because they've actually done the work and said, hey, in a DM, I listened to this and I saw these 3 points. So that's different than just saying shove, shove, shove.
Yes, and nobody likes a shovey salesperson anyway. I mean, I don't know
Yes.
how it is where you are, but in the malls here, there's all these kiosks with
Oh, it
different
drives me
vendors,
insane.
and I hate
Drives me
them.
insane.
And especially when I used to walk in the mall, which is a really good way to walk in air conditioning, by the way, or controlled climate if you're in the snow.
Yeah, yeah.
Just because you can just power walk. No, I don't want to buy your loofah, dude. I'm walking. Just leave me alone. Like it's it's so much worse. It's like when you go to Tijuana and all of a sudden everybody's at your car wanting you to buy stuff. It's too much. I just came here to be in the sun and to eat a burrito. Leave me alone. Like
Yep.
that's that's a mistake. That's a huge brand
You
mistake.
you think it's a mistake for me? His is even worse. So there you go. But I'm gonna do something a little different that I told you I didn't tell you I was gonna do, but I'm gonna switch gears on you because I want to. It's my show.
It's
And
your show.
the gear is you and Warren have something special coming out next month. You have a
Yes,
book
we do.
coming.
We do.
So
We do.
so what is the title of that book? And I know you're looking at me, and I'm glad, so happy for you guys. And go ahead and
It
talk
it's
about it.
called The Only Social Media Book That You Need. We have some guest pieces by you wrote our
Yeah, thank you.
introduction.
I did.
Chef Sarah wrote about X. Amy Donahue wrote about Reddit. I'm just waiting on Paul Toby's bio because he wrote a blurb on YouTube. And it
Awesome.
is like, in the same vein as the only online marketing book you need. And
Which I wrote the introduction for that
right.
book as well.
It's the same thing. Like it's not only education, but it's also a reference. Like there's a cheat sheet
Yeah.
chapter for how social posts should be formatted. Like you could just flip there and go. And whoops. And so we are doing that. I'm in the final stages. Everything's formatted. The good thing about writing with somebody else is, especially if they're 7 hours ahead of you,
Yeah.
it's like while I'm sleeping, Warren's working. This is a great collaborate. I mean, this is the ultimate use of Google Docs. So
Yeah.
as soon as we get that bio, which will be any minute, maybe by the time this goes to production, we will offer it on Kindle and also on as a paperback.
Yep.
And then yeah, it'll be a great book. It'll be really easy. It's all updated for 2025. And yeah,
And what
I
I would
mean,
encourage anybody to do is when it comes out, go get them. I have I have every book that Bridget or Warren have put out. So, just a few.
yeah, talk
Go get
about
them.
off-page SEO. Amazon's a great link if you do the
Yep.
work.
Yeah. Go get them.
You have a book coming out.
I do. I have my first volume called Words from the Pod, Volume 1, coming out on May the 1st. It'll be a PDF. So the little secret is if you want to join either of my two Substacks, you get them free. If you don't join the Substack, you get to pay for them. So, and it's only coming out in e format. And I should tell you, Bridget and Warren have both written me introductions, which will be volumes 2 and 3. The book, the series is dedicated to my partner Tiz for a multitude of
Oh,
reasons. You can read why, but I very often share the story that after my hospital scare last year, if it wasn't for her inspiration, I probably wouldn't be doing the podcast still. So, amongst other things, so I love her for that, amongst many other things. So, I'll tell you that. Yeah, it's well deserved. So and by the way, she hasn't, as of the time of this record, she has not been shown the introduction yet. So there you
oh, yeah. Don't
go.
spoil it, everyone.
No, 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 no. She'll see it probably Thursday. So that's release date. But anyway, so but you know what? Writing's fun. I mean, I got to know Warren through one of his books. It was a funny story. He was giving a few away on Facebook, and I said, "Oh, would you send me one? But I'll make you a deal." And I think I've shared this story with you. And he said, "Oh, what do you want?" I said, "You can send me one, but then you got to come on my show to talk about it." That was the deal. Because I'm
Yeah.
very much if somebody does something for me, and I love talking to authors, it's always fun. So, you know. That's
Writing's a really good way to teach. I mean, everybody learns different ways. Sometimes you want to hear it, sometimes you want to see it on video, sometimes you want to read it, sometimes you want both, you know? So it's just a great way for us to teach and to help more people than our actual clients. Because I love small businesses, Rob, but they're not my
I know you do.
clients.
No, and I love you guys, and I wish you all the best with the book as always. And if somebody wants to talk to you, get them to do some marketing because I'm sure Bridget's got room for a client or two. Rumor tells me. How can I find you, Bridget?
You can go to bridgetwillard.com. I just launched my SaaS marketing
Yeah.
package, which is at // SaaS hyphen marketing. You'll find it. Just find me on there.
And
Just type in Bridget
what
Willard.
I,
You know where I am.
what I'll tell you is, if you're looking for somebody who knows marketing, go find Bridget. And as you can tell, she's a lot of fun. So that
Yeah.
too, that's a bonus that comes with it. So. Hey, Bridget, thanks as always, and you have yourself a wonderful day.
You too. Thanks, Rob.
Bye. This podcast has been brought to you by Stunning Digital Marketing, your digital marketing concierge to help the business owner put all his pieces together, whether it's email marketing, WordPress security, WordPress design and development, PPC, and more. Text Stunning Digital Marketing for all your digital marketing needs today. A very special thank you, Bridget Willard, for joining me on this edition of the SDM Show. The SDM Show is dedicated to my late father, Bruce Cairns. Dad, I miss you very much every day. My mother, Ann Cairns, who's still doing really well and is an inspiration. And of course, Tiz Maroney. And Tiz, I know I've said it, but thank you so much for all the inspiration you give me every day.